Hey, welcome back to the Board Game Closet. My name's Jimmy.
I'm Tim.
I'm Jordan.
I'm Rod.
And today we're going to do a comparison video between X-Wing and Armada, put out by the same company with the same license, two different games that are kind of similar. And so we've had a few people ask us, if you had to buy one, which one would it be? What's the better value? Which has the better gameplay? Which has the better components? All of those questions, we're going to try to answer those quickly for you. So I guess to get started, we're just going to go through and maybe each give an opinion on a few different aspects. So first, we want to talk about components. So which game do we think has the better components?
Okay, so I'll go first real quick. So obviously, since they're from the same game and they're the same, Star Wars, right? The one thing that I like about the newer one when it comes to Armada is that they give you this extra thickness on the neck here to hold the ship in place. But from there, I think overall I like the X-Wing quality, with the exception of the X-Wings themselves, which can be kind of breakable. The rest of them seem pretty hardy. The small X-Wings and stuff here, as we've spoken before, tend to be very, well, if you've got finger on them, you're going to break them. So.
Yeah, I would kind of say maybe some of the same things, although I like the scale of this one better, and I like just that size. I don't know, I kind of feel like you're right. When you get to the little ties and the little X-Wings, I just hate that those aren't painted. It just looks like, wow, and when you get to those. And so this one, I feel like it doesn't matter which piece you pick up, it's going to be pretty good. So,
yeah, I agree. The components, as far as quality-wise, they're the same. As far as the main components go, all the cardboard pieces are the same. They're good cardboard tokens. All the artwork's very good on both sides. So.
Yeah, I feel the same way as you guys. It has about the same amount, except
we all agree.
One of the main things for me, though, is you get all the dice you need in the first X-Wing.
Oh, threw that in there, didn't he? Didn't he? Went right straight for it. The other thing to keep in mind, too, is that on these pieces right here, they've got a little bit more. There's more variables to it, so you have the extra controlling the shields and stuff done on the ship itself.
Yeah, on the flight stand.
Exactly. Which I actually like a whole lot.
Me too.
I love the dials on there.
And that's with Armada, not the X-Wing.
Yeah, the X-Wing doesn't have that on it. You're keeping track of all your stats.
Yeah, you got shield tokens on X-Wing, so you got to keep those off to the side.
Sure.
Yeah, so that's cool. I do like the setup of this one a little bit better with the bases and it being raised. I feel like these are a little bit sturdier.
So let's go ahead and start talking about gameplay.
Okay, who wants to start?
You should start with the gameplay.
Okay. First off, I think you have to understand that these are two different styles of play that you have to think through. This one, Armada, is maybe a little bit longer term, so you're trying to think a few things ahead. You're thinking of your whole fleet, whereas X-Wing, in the base game, it's two X-Wings versus a tie? Is that how it is? Or two ties? Two ties versus one X-Wing. So you're thinking about one guy, so you're thinking a little bit differently in gameplay. I actually prefer the Armada gameplay over the X-Wing gameplay. I like the movements. I like thinking about my squads where I can just place their 360 around. I just like that a whole lot better than the X-Wing. And so for me, I'd put my die on the Armada side there.
Yeah, gameplay-wise, just talking about how it actually plays out, X-Wing is simpler, not as just dumber or dumber down version, but it's just a simpler gameplay. This one adds a lot more your as far as your strategy goes, and in the gameplay itself, not just in how you play, because you have a lot of you have defense tokens that aren't in here. You have the clicks on the maneuver dial. And you have the command dials that give you stuff up in the next turns and stuff like that. So that's all built in. This one has the actions on the turn, so everything is kind of in the moment. So,
yeah, I'd go the same thing with Tim was saying, that this is more like a dogfight, or that's more of the fleet. So it is different on the fighting thing because it's not the same, so it's not the best for comparison. But if you want to do one that's fast and you choose your move every time and you choose what you're going to do every time, it'd be that one. Or if you want to do the one that you have to plan ahead and think a lot more, it's with that one.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, for me, I think it's just who's playing the game, who are you playing against. Someone comes to our house because we have both games. Who's going to be playing it? With our main group, honestly, I think Armada is going to be the one because everyone's very strategic, and I think we can get into it that way. But when it comes to somebody brand new to gaming or somebody who's newer, who just pop in the X-Wing, everyone loves the miniatures, and don't get me wrong, it's great playing. I mean, it is a very, very fun game.
Yep, totally. Okay, so let's talk about value then. Which one do you think that you get the better value out of, Armada versus X-Wing?
Now this is a hard one because this one, just the jumping on point is far more expensive than the jumping on point to here. Because this is, I mean, just for a few bucks, you can get the starter pack, and then you can go wherever you want. You buy whatever
Add-ons,
expansions you want. There, you're looking. The MSRP is $100 on this thing just to get in the game because you have to have the starting components, and then
you add on.
after $100, you get to start adding stuff on to the gameplay. So, as far as that value, and some of the components like the dice were missing. So as far as value goes, that's a negative on that. I'd have to go with this is the better value for people wanting to spend less money.
Yeah, but I mean, the argument could be that you get twice as much, that you're getting all these pieces and then all the little pieces that go along with it, the tokens that you have to assemble with it. I mean, all that stuff maybe you're getting. I don't know if it's a direct double in the amount of stuff that you get. But so, I mean, you are talking two radically different price points. But I don't know. I got to go back to the same thing. I think the better value would come with X-Wing as compared to Armada. But for some people, straight dollar-to-dollar comparison is not what they're really interested in. So I don't know if that's the best determining factor.
I say X-Wing. I mean, you can jump into it for about $29, and that's a great jump-in point. And then from there, you can decide on how much you're going to spend. Here, you're going to start off at $80, and that's it. And then after that, you'll be dishing in another $100 quickly. So I would just say if you had to make a choice, and when it comes to the value portion of it, and I would go with the X-Wing part of it.
Yeah, I'd go with the X-Wing as well with that, just because it's a smaller price in the beginning with it, and then you can go anyway. And then also X-Wing has a third faction to it, so you don't have to go Imperial or Rebel. You can go to Scum and Villainy as
Throws
well.
the third faction in it.
I'm sure it's coming in an expansion.
I'm sure it's coming to the expansion too.
So at this point, we're going to do is take our green die and then
Place it.
On one of the two sides as our vote.
Right. Because typically we do a buy it, play it, hate it rating. And so we say green, go buy it, white, play it, red, hate it. But this is just a comparison. So we wanted to draw a line in the sand and say you can't say both. You can't say I'm going to do all of it, but you have to say it's either over here or over here. So
now, one thing too, understand that I believe so. Everyone here, either when we did our reviews, either did green or white on the games. And I believe, quite honestly, even the people who chose white, they would have bought the game if one of us hadn't bought it.
Right.
So someone would have ended up buying it. So
somebody would have got it.
Rod, why don't you go ahead and put that green die down?
So
First one.
yeah, you go for it. Let's see.
So if I had to choose one, this is where it's all coming down to. If I had to choose one.
Had to choose one.
Because I was going to actually put it in the middle, but they won't let me do that.
You got to choose.
Yeah, choose.
I'm going to say...
Oh, X-Wing! Okay.
Jimmy?
I am going to do Armada.
Oh.
I just like the gameplay a little bit better.
Let's skip Tim, let Jordan go, because we know...
I'm with
We need one more guy. Break the tie.
Okay, so I guess we should real quickly brief on
that answers it.
Either or.
Well, I mean, should we briefly just discuss it real quick on it? I mean...
Yeah, real quick, because...
exactly, we don't have a lot of time. So the thing is that for me, the reason I went ahead and went with the X-Wing, it comes down to value. Every piece that I've purchased from there, and again, I'm saying the X-Wings are great quality pieces. It's just that I think they're very breakable. You should be careful with them. But you get a ton of stuff with a starter set, and it's very low entry level. And I just think that part right there seems like they haven't really made any mistakes with that one, and where they may have made a mistake here with some of the pieces.
Second edition.
Not enough dice, that type of thing.
Yeah, for me, it was on the edge too, but I think at the end of the day, if you said, do I want to play Armada or X-Wing, I would choose Armada. I'd say I'd rather play this one. It's just as simple as that.
Sure.
I was never really going to buy X-Wing.
Oh, he would have.
Honestly, I mean, if nobody in the world had bought one, I maybe would have purchased it just to
Within
play
a
around with it.
30-mile radius.
But I've been seriously contemplating that before you guys purchased it, getting into that game.
Right.
If it wasn't for the price point, I would have anyways.
Right. Yeah.
I was into Wings of War, and that was like the same type. I really liked that game. That was one of my first favorite games. And then they came out with the Star Wars version of it, and it has miniatures.
Yeah.
And I was a little biased at first because I already had gone into this, and I played it a lot more, and I've really spent a lot of time in it. So I've learned to love it also.
Yeah.
So I've loved it longer.
He's married to it. So that's our X-Wing versus Armada video. Thanks for watching. Like the video, subscribe to our channel, and check us out on BoardGameCloset.com
And visit your local hobby shop.
to buy either Armada or X-Wing.
X-Wing. Yeah.